So, there you have it. The 11 risks of dating a woman with tattoos, backed by studies. Impulsivity, mental health struggles, attention-seeking, risky decision-making, aggression, trauma, rebellion, regret, divorce, drama, and more. Now, does this mean every tattooed woman is toxic? Of course not. There are always exceptions. But psychology isn't about exceptions, it's about patterns. And the patterns here are undeniable. Tattoos are signals. They're not just about art, they're about psychology. They tell a story about risk-taking, instability, and an appetite for chaos that could spill into your relationship. Welcome to Stoic Reflections, the place where we cut through illusions and expose the raw truths about life, relationships, and human psychology. The ink may look beautiful, but behind the beauty might lie impulsivity, pain, or self-destruction. And if you ignore the signs, you'll be the one paying the price. The truth is, men don't get burned because women hide who they are. Men get burned because they ignore the signals staring them in the face. So the next time you're drawn to a woman with tattoos, ask yourself, are you ready for what those tattoos might mean? Or are you mistaking rebellion for compatibility? If you want more raw, unfiltered truths like this, the kind society doesn't want you to hear, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment with the word ink if you've ever dated a tattooed woman. Risk 1. Impulsivity that doesn't end with the tattoo. The first thing studies reveal is that women with tattoos tend to score higher in impulsivity. On the surface, impulsivity sounds fun. It means she's spontaneous, adventurous, and exciting, and in the beginning, that's exactly what pulls men in. She's the type who says yes to last-minute road trips, who orders dessert at midnight, who laughs at rules, and turns life into an adventure. But here's the catch. Impulsivity doesn't stay fun forever. It begins to leak into every part of the relationship. That same thrill-seeking energy that inspired her to get a tattoo can also lead to reckless spending, sudden emotional outbursts, and unstable decision-making when temptation or stress appears. Think about it. A tattoo is a permanent decision, often made in a fleeting moment, during a breakup, after a surge of emotions, or on a whim. That pattern of living for the now while ignoring consequences often shows up in relationships too. It's not that every tattooed woman is unstable, but statistically there's a higher chance she struggles with self-control. And here's why that matters. Relationships thrive on patience, consistency, and long-term thinking. If her psychology leans toward, do what feels good right now, you'll eventually be the one paying for those decisions later. Risk 2. Hidden struggles with mental health. Another risk that shows up repeatedly in psychological research is the connection between tattoos and underlying mental health struggles. Now, let's be clear. Having a tattoo doesn't automatically mean someone is unstable. Many people get tattoos as personal expression, to honor loved ones, or to mark milestones. But when researchers looked at broader patterns, they noticed something important. Women with multiple tattoos were more likely to report higher levels of anxiety, depression, and emotional turbulence. Why does this matter in relationships? Because love is not just about passion, it's about stability. If she is carrying unresolved emotional battles, those struggles won't stay hidden. They will eventually show up in how she communicates, how she reacts during conflict, and how secure she feels in the relationship. Emotional highs may be intoxicating, but emotional lows can drain you, test your patience, and leave you walking on eggshells. For many, tattoos can act as a coping mechanism. They represent an attempt to reclaim control, to transform pain into art, to cover scars, both physical and emotional. And while that might sound poetic, it also reveals that the pain still exists beneath the surface. A tattoo doesn't erase trauma. it just decorates it. Risk 3. The constant need for attention. One of the most overlooked but powerful signals of tattoos, especially visible or dramatic ones, is the craving for attention. At first, this might seem harmless. After all, everyone enjoys a compliment or a little recognition. But when attention-seeking becomes a core part of her identity, it changes the entire dynamic of a relationship. Think about it. A tattoo is a permanent way of saying, "Notice me, look at me, ask me about my story." It's not like changing your hairstyle or buying a new outfit. This is etched onto her skin for life. And many times it's placed where the world can't help but see it. This is more than art. It's a billboard. And that billboard sends a message. I want eyes on me. Now, in the early stages of dating, this can be intoxicating. She thrives in social settings. She draws attention when she walks into a room, and she knows how to make things exciting. But the flip side is this. If she's addicted to outside validation, she will constantly need it. And no matter how much love, support, or admiration you give, it will never feel like enough. This is dangerous because attention-seeking isn't just about strangers noticing her ink. It often extends into social media, nightlife, and the way she interacts with men in general. When she thrives on being desired, drama follows. Risk 4. Risk-taking in intimacy and commitment. Research consistently shows that women with tattoos often score higher in sensation-seeking traits. In plain words, they're more likely to chase novelty, excitement, and experiences that push against traditional boundaries. On the surface, this can be incredibly attractive. She may come across as adventurous, full of life, unpredictable in the best ways, and capable of turning ordinary moments into thrilling memories. But here's the reality. That same risk-taking energy that feels intoxicating at first doesn't always stay confined to fun and adventure. In many cases, it bleeds into relationships. She may struggle with consistency, long-term planning, or staying satisfied once the initial spark fades. What feels thrilling in the short term can often create instability in the long term. A tattoo itself is a symbol of this mindset. It's a permanent mark, created in a temporary moment, often during times of strong emotion, rebellion, or the desire for self-expression, without considering consequences. Risk 5. A higher tendency toward aggression and conflict. Another pattern that research highlights is the link between tattoos and heightened aggression. Again, this doesn't mean every tattooed woman is violent or confrontational, but statistically, there is a greater likelihood of strong, reactive behavior. At first glance, this intensity can feel magnetic. She may come across as fiery, outspoken, and unwilling to let anyone walk over her. Many men mistake this for strength or passion, and in small doses it can be attractive. But in relationships, aggression is a double-edged sword. The same fierceness that protects her independence can easily turn into volatility when emotions run high. Small disagreements can escalate into dramatic arguments. Conversations that should be calm and rational may spiral into shouting matches, slammed doors, or ultimatums. And over time, this creates an unstable environment where peace becomes rare. Risk 6. Unresolved trauma beneath the ink. One of the most powerful yet often hidden truths about tattoos is that they are not always about art or aesthetics. For many people, tattoos are coping mechanisms, a way to carry pain, rewrite a story, or transform trauma into something visible and permanent. While this may feel empowering to the person getting inked, it also reveals that the pain often still exists underneath. When a woman uses tattoos to symbolize her battles, her losses, or her scars, it can be deeply meaningful. But in relationships, those unresolved wounds don't disappear just because they've been covered with ink. Trauma has a way of resurfacing. It shapes how she communicates, how she trusts, and how she responds to challenges. You may find yourself dealing with sudden emotional outbursts, trust issues, or cycles of self-sabotage, not because of you, but because of what she has endured. Risk 7. Rebellion against stability. Tattoos, especially bold or highly visible ones, often symbolize rebellion. They send a message: I don't follow the rules. I live on my own terms. On the surface, this spirit of independence can feel exciting. She may come across as free-spirited, confident, and unafraid of judgment. For many men, that attitude feels magnetic, especially compared to women who seem more conventional or reserved. But rebellion comes with a cost. The same mindset that pushes her to resist social norms may also push her to resist structure and stability in relationships. She may dislike routines, feel suffocated by responsibility, or get restless when life becomes predictable. What feels like strength in the beginning, her refusal to conform, can become chaos when you're trying to build something steady and long-lasting. There's a difference between independence and rebellion. Independence says, I can stand on my own 2 feet. Rebellion says, I will fight against anything that tries to guide or anchor me, even if it's good for me. And in relationships, that rebellious streak can show up as resistance to commitment, constant challenges, or an inability to settle into long-term peace. Risk 8. Tattoo regret and emotional fallout. Tattoos are permanent, but human emotions rarely are. Studies show that a significant percentage of people eventually regret at least one of their tattoos. And regret isn't just about the ink, it's about the decision-making process behind it. A choice that once felt empowering may later feel embarrassing, impulsive, or like a reminder of a painful chapter she no longer wants to revisit. In relationships, this regret often doesn't stay silent. It can reveal itself through shame, insecurity, or sudden mood swings when the tattoo comes up in conversation. What once made her feel unique may now make her feel judged. What once symbolized freedom may now symbolize poor decisions. And that emotional fallout often spills into how she views herself and how she treats you. For you as a man, this creates an emotional minefield. One moment, her tattoos may feel like stories she's proud of. The next, they may represent mistakes she desperately wants to forget. And you're caught in the middle, unsure of which version of her you're dealing with. Risk 9. Greater likelihood of divorce. One of the more surprising but well-documented findings in research is the connection between tattoos and higher divorce rates. Again, this doesn't mean every tattooed woman will end a marriage. It simply highlights a statistical trend. Tattoos often symbolize a spirit of rebellion, risk-taking, and emotional intensity. These qualities may create excitement at the beginning of a relationship, but long-term commitment requires something very different: patience, discipline, and the ability to endure routine without constantly chasing novelty. Marriage is not built on excitement alone, it's built on endurance. If her psychology leans toward avoiding discipline, chasing freedom, or rejecting anything that feels restrictive, the statistics make sense. Divorce becomes not just possible, but probable. Risk 10. Chronic relationship drama. One of the clearest patterns that emerges with women who wear bold, visible tattoos is a higher tendency toward drama. Not always in the loud, obvious way, but often in the form of constant emotional highs and lows that keep the relationship unstable. In the beginning, this drama can feel exciting. She might sweep you into a whirlwind of passion, surprises, and intensity that makes you feel alive. Many men confuse this chaos with love. They mistake the emotional roller coaster for depth, when in reality, it's just instability disguised as passion. But drama doesn't take long to reveal its darker side. Small misunderstandings turn into heated arguments. Simple problems become exaggerated crises. Instead of peace and stability, you find yourself living in cycles of tension, reconciliation, and then more conflict. Over time, this emotional turbulence doesn't make the bond stronger, it wears it down. Risk 11. The attraction to chaos. Perhaps the most dangerous risk of all is this. Many women who cover themselves in tattoos are not just signaling rebellion or individuality. They are often signaling a deeper attraction to chaos. It's not just about the ink, but about what the ink represents. A craving for intensity, unpredictability, and the adrenaline that comes from living on the edge. At first, this can be magnetic. She seems exciting, mysterious, and full of energy. Life with her feels like a movie, never dull, always moving, always intense. But what you may not realize is that chaos is addictive, and for her, peace often feels like boredom. That means the relationship rarely settles. Calm moments don't last. If things become too stable, she may unconsciously stir conflict, chase new thrills, or create drama just to feel alive again. This cycle becomes exhausting. One week you're on top of the world together, the next you're fighting over something small, and the next you're trying to repair the damage. The lesson is simple but critical. Excitement fades, but peace endures. If her tattoos are part of a deeper attraction to chaos, you must decide whether you want a life of constant turbulence or a life of calm strength and lasting stability. So, those are the 11 risks of dating a woman with tattoos. Impulsivity, hidden struggles with mental health, attention-seeking, risk-taking in relationships, aggression, unresolved trauma, rebellion, regret, divorce, drama, and an attraction to chaos. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean every tattooed woman is unstable or unfit for a relationship. There are always exceptions. Some women wear ink as pure art, as a symbol of growth, or as a way to honor their story. But psychology isn't built on exceptions. It's built on patterns, and the patterns here are too consistent to ignore. Tattoos are not just designs on the skin. They are signals, messages about mindset, decision-making, and psychology. Ignore those signals, and you risk walking blindly into instability, heartbreak, and chaos. Pay attention to them, and you can protect yourself from years of unnecessary pain. At Stoic Reflections, we believe truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is the foundation of wisdom. The Stoics taught that clarity, discipline, and awareness are what keep a man free. And that means looking past beauty, passion, or surface-level attraction and asking, what does this really mean? What does this reveal about her psychology? If you value your peace, your future, and your emotional stability, then you must stop ignoring the signs that are right in front of you. Attraction might draw you in, but wisdom is what protects you. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more unfiltered truths about life, relationships, and psychology. And let me ask you, have you ever dated a woman with tattoos? What was your experience? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read everyone.